of blue and white colliding with Pitt's gold and blue as the defending national champs, the Nittany Lions, square off. Welcome back inside Rec Hall, where Penn State and Pitt renew their Keystone State rivalry. Let's meet tonight's starting lineups for the first side of the table. It's the Pitt Panthers, fresh off 4 straight Final Four runs and also a 7-match winning streak here. Brooke Mosher, very familiar with the Big Ten territory, transferring in from Illinois. And time now to meet the defending national champs, Penn State Nittany Lions, led by Katie Schumacher-Cauley. Addie Lyon, the center, on her 4th start in a row now, leading from first serve. And this is a matchup, Emily, that dates back to 1977. Lots of historical context here. Pitt has won 3 of the last 4, but historically it's Penn State that's owned this matchup in the series.
This rivalry is so much fun in recent years because both teams have been absolute powerhouses. Pitt having made the last 4 Final Fours, and Penn State coming off of their 8th national championship this past season. Yeah,
no kidding. Schumacher-Cauley contributing to 2 of those, once as a player, once as a coach. There's a look at Julian Grimes, the ferocious libero for the Nittany Lions, number 3. Keep an eye out for her. She's going to be a key tonight against Olivia Babcock. You promised it, Emily, and really that's they have their work cut out for them tonight, to say the least. On the other side, it is Emery Dukes getting the nod at libero, number 3. Checking in for Bree Kelly, and that was a last-minute decision for Dan Fisher on the side of Pitt, going with Emery Dukes. There's a competition now between Izzy and Emery.
And you have different experience levels. Emery Dukes, a redshirt senior there, gets the nod. Izzy Masson will still play a DS, but just in that freshman position. But hey, tonight is going to all be about number 5 in gold against number 18 in white. 2 power attackers. They're so much fun to watch with Olivia Babcock for Pitt and Kennedy Martin for Penn State.
Yep, the wrecking crew is with us and upon us. First server at the line will be the setter, Addie Lyon. What a great story she's had this year. Had a chat with her this morning about stepping in to take over the reins. She says it's a privilege to wear the blue and white, and I will try to continue that forward and carry that forward the rest of the season. Jump float serving coming from Lyon. Goes right into the net. Tight start. Pitt will take the opening score here in set number 1.
Penn State is going to have to serve really tough today because when Pitt is in system, they are so difficult to stop. They have one of the most efficient middle duos in the country. The way to neutralize them is serving really hard.
Well, speaking of serving really hard, Brooke Mosher, very good at that. The redshirt senior transfer mentioned. She, former starter, Illinois, rips it from the service line. Addie Lyon kicks it back to Juravicius, who goes off of 1 foot. Free ball situation. In trouble. Penn State kicks it right back to Juravicius, who starts right away on the right, and a big block on cue for Pitt.
This is a difficult rotation to get Pitt out of because they have so much height in the front court. Blair Bayless, number 8 in gold, a formidable force up there, does a really nice job tracking this ball and getting her hands over in time.
How about the play out of system, too, and a scramble for Pitt to find their way out of it. Brooke Mosher, one of their best servers back at the line, along with Olivia Babcock. Wow, track the MPH on that one. Out of system for Penn State. Emmy Selman hits it into a triple block. Out wide to Kennedy Martin, who throws one into the net. Pitt with a hot start. Penn State looks a little tight to start set 1.
Yeah, Penn State just not playing as free. They're playing a little bit timid right now. Martin tried to take a little bit off of that swing, resulting in going in the bottom of the net.
Here's a look at Kennedy Martin. Look for her to heat up. Her numbers have been stellar this season as well. Brooke Mosher looking for her 3rd straight point. Blows up Emmy Selman down the line. And running the middle is Addie Lyon. Pitt with athletic play, and the call is that the ball was down. Penn State will take the opening point. What a run, what a set from Addie Lyon to find the middle.
Yeah, really risky set right there, but it paid off.
And Dan Fisher, in his 12th year at the helm for Pitt, has transformed this program into one of the sport's most elite programs. Mentioned the 4 straight trips to the Final Four, 5 straight elite runs, as well as 6 ACC titles. And there's a look right away from Ryla Jones, the sophomore middle blocker.
Love watching Ryla Jones explode in her sophomore season. She does such a great job tracking these balls. She's gotten a lot stronger since her freshman year as well. She's putting a lot more power behind these swings.
Here's another look at Jones. Izzy Maston, number 7 in gold, back to serve for Pitt. She's a young freshman, started training with the team in January, graduated early to do so. Kennedy Martin goes into the block again. Lower contact point there for Martin, but Pitt, tough block to get through.
This match might come down to which outsides are blocking better, because the power attackers on both sides are the opposites on the right side, so that means they're going up against the outsides on the opposing side, and right away we're seeing a lot of balls blocked already for Pitt.
Yeah, Pitt, one of the best blocking teams in the country. Denied by the net is Izzy Mastin as Penn State will take the miss. Head coach Katie Schumacher-Cawley, in just her third season leading her alma mater, she has guided Penn State to the 2024 National Championship, becoming the first female head coach to win an NCAA Division I women's volleyball title. Also a former two-time All-American herself and a member of the first team that won it all here at Penn State. Olivia Babcock on the pin and throws a little off speed in front of the feet of Jillian Grimes.
Beautiful transition play on Pitt's side. Emery Dupes takes a one-arm stab at this ball to keep it alive, and the Panthers are able to transition that.
Yeah, take another look.
An amazing
dig.
Just being in the right spot at the right time.
Emery Dupes knows how to do that best, and Pitt also utilizing the two libero system. Mallory Meyer serving there, and a couple of early service errors for Pitt. That's unusual. They're not typically a team that's going to give you much error-wise. There's a look at Emery Dupes. Florida State transfer. And who else but tight to the net. Penn State wins the joust. Pirates loads up off the hands. Faldudo digs it up. Selman off the block again. Emery Dupes is on it. Mosier goes back to Babcock, who throws it just wide, and not sure she got the touch. And I think we'll have a challenge here. Here's another look at it, Emily.
Babcock immediately signaling to her head coach that they touched a finger. Penn State's front court celebrating right away.
Yep. They typically know what they see. Dan Fisher was quite confident.
Pitt is challenging. The ball was touched.
As expected. Anything jumping out to you to start this one, Em?
I think already we're seeing a lot of balance on Pitt's side. They're working to get everyone involved in the offense, while Penn State, a little bit pin heavy to start. A lot of that is because Pitt's putting a lot of pressure on the Nittany Lions. So here's what we're looking at, a touch call. So potentially if it's going off of a finger and out of bounds, if there's any movement or change of direction on the ball, it looked like that right index finger of number 5 in white. A little bit of movement there.
I think I saw that too. Take another look from a different angle. That hand in the middle from Jordan Hopp, I believe, will be called for a touch.
You can also look at whether this ball was in or out. Those can be bundled because you're looking at the last play. That ball was out. Based on the first look that we saw, it looked like it clipped something.
And of course, hear the verdict here soon. Referee crew running back a few more angles of this one. Middle production, a point of emphasis on both sides to stay balanced. Addie Lyon talked to me about that this morning. They really, really want to get their middles involved as much as possible to take that pressure off the pin, to your point earlier here, Emily, but it's been quite pin heavy, as you mentioned it. Lengthier delay here, I think we'll have a verdict here shortly.
Now it has to be indisputable evidence one way or another to confirm or reverse that call. I want to make sure that the ref gets it right, which is why this is taking a bit of time. But you're looking at that left ring finger of number 5. Looks like it moves to me. And Fisher wants him in.
The verdict. Getting our second on-cam shot of the night.
After the review,
TBD,
there
coach.
was a touch. The call will be reversed. It will be a point for Pitt, and they will retain their challenge.
All right, we play on.
On the hot seat there for a minute. And 4-point gap continues here for 5th-ranked Pitt. Olivia Babcock already contributing to 2 kills so far here in set number 1. Pitt hitting 600 as a team early. Babcock back to the line, and that is a rocket. Faldudo was trying to pass it. Selman out of system, and then Hop goes to block her own overpass. All right, Martin doesn't leave the ground, but still sends over a shot of her own. What a swing from Mauritz. Kennedy goes flying into the stands, and it cannot be dug out.
Beautiful out-of-system play on Pitt's side. I love this set from Brooke Mosier. She's pulled all the way to the right side of the court. This is something that Pitt practices all the time, even in warm-ups, taking the sets from the complete right side of the court and having the strength to push it all the way out.
That's a really good point by you. Another serve incoming from Olivia Babcock. What a pass from Grimes. Deserves some credit. And they'll pay it off with a slide attack from Jordan Hop.
And that one taken by Faldudo in the back, just completely eating that one up, putting it right on top of the setter. Beautiful ball. And this is essentially coming as a hit, so
yeah, that's
have to defend it.
Great pass by Faldudo. Got crosswires for me watching how fast that serve was. Babcock out of the back row now. Mosier out to the pin. Mauritz throws in a roll shot. Juravicius loads up, hits the hand, sends that ball out. Call it a 2.
Juravicius gets most of her kills on being incredibly physical. She has such power in her arms. She's able to go off the block and out of bounds if it's not perfectly formed.
Amy Selman back to work at the service line for Penn State. There's another look at the fearless Caroline Juravicius. Mauritz with a pass and a dime. Bree Kelly in a one-on-one situation. What a block there from Juravicius. Mauritz, a cannon through the seam of the block, and there's maybe some danger for Penn State with an undersized blocker in number 7, Addie Lyon.
Yeah, this is exactly the rotation that Penn State doesn't want to get stuck in. When you have Addie Lyon, who just stands at 5'9", she's number 7 in white, they switch blocks, so they'll actually move her to the middle of the court so they have a bigger blocker trying to block Lyon.
There's some history to undersized centers at Penn State. I'll add more to that story in a moment. Big serve from Mauritz goes well deep. Mauritz, number 19 in golds, coming here from the Netherlands as a freshman. And the CEV Volleyball European Championships from 2019 to 2022. She's a new player, a new face that's really settled into her own, coming into her own for Pitt.
One of the best passers on the court for Pitt as well. She's done a phenomenal job there as a freshman.
Agreed. Another missed serve. A lot of those flying on both sides to start.
I think both sides really know that they have to serve tough initially to knock the other out of system, but both just serve a little bit too tough. That one going about 10 feet out of bounds. Back to serve for Pitt. Grimes throws it high to the pin. Juravicius trying to swing her way out of trouble, but tracking that ball behind your right shoulder can be a challenge. Pitt's doing a really nice job just putting pressure on Penn State, whether it's on attack or from the service line. They're not letting Penn State get comfortable.
Tao Tua'a has a nice jump float serve on contact. That one floats deep though. Pitt still trying to figure out their service game at the moment.
4th service error on the Panthers side. And 6 total in this match so far. So we're seeing a lot of back and forth from the service line here.
Nice serve from Lyon. And a big blow from Jones. Once again, the slide attack gets through 2 physical blockers that time.
This is why Penn State has to serve really tough, because if Ryla Jones and Bree Kelly, the middles for Pitt, are involved in the offense, it's so difficult to slow them down because of how fast Brooke Mosier runs it.
Brooke Mosier back to the service line. That's dangerous for Penn State. Big pass here for the white and blue. Grimes gets a hold of it. Lyon to the pin. It's Kennedy Martin. They need some production out of their star, and they got it there.
Doesn't matter if it comes from the right or the left spin. Kennedy Martin is going to bring it every single time. Look how high she gets up here. That's a big block in front of her, and she's able to slice it inside.
That's the connection that Addie Lyon feels the most confident in. Why wouldn't you when you have the star? But it's not always as easy to connect right away. The new starting setter. Beautiful set from Mosier, but it is Nice tough block by Kennedy Martin on both sides of the ball.
Now, Kennedy Martin is such a physical force up front. This plays out in her blocking ability as well. She's 6'6" and has great handwork to get that ball back in.
Eva Felduto will serve for the Nittany Lions. Jump float handled. Ooh, a little tight though. In trouble is Pitt. And the heads-up play there for Maggie Mendelson. Dukes with a little bit of a tight pass.
Now started from the service line, Eva Felduto putting in a bullet at Pitt's serve receive, forcing that near overpass.
See who Felduto targets this time, especially with the setter coming in from that back right corner. She goes right back to the libero, Emery Dukes. Tip is thrown in from Bayless, and ooh, trouble here for Penn State. Throwing up to Kennedy Martin, and it's well wide.
And just a miscommunication on Penn State's side of who is going to play that first ball. That's why the tip was so effective from the outside, because you're forcing players to try to talk about it and who's going to get that first contact.
Blair Bayless coming to life here for Pitt. Izzy Maston, the freshman DS, back in to serve. Jump float. Ryan goes back to Martin again. Mosier gets a touch on it. Maston tracks it down through the chairs. It's still going. Penn State loading up again. Wow. And that's the one that lands, and you wonder if Izzy Maston is bidding for a spot at libero here in set number 2 with that kind of defensive scramble.
Awesome hustle from Izzy Maston, and you love to see the bench just getting out of the way. Let her play that. Amazing up.
That is awesome. When you have defensive players that'll run through literal chairs to get a ball up, you know you're on the right track. And then Babcock goes to work. Felduto digs it out in the seam. Martin off the hands, and here comes Penn State, pulling within 1.
Now Kennedy Martin's heating up, which is exactly what Pitt does not want to see on the other side of the net. Such a strong arm, and if that block isn't there in time, it's coming back.
Jillian Grimes, libero for Penn State serving. Maston with a rocket quick pass. Pitt with the coverage, out to the pin. Mauritz is dug out by Penn State. Selnick throws a BB, it's wide, and Pitt gets out of a scramble. But to your point, yeah, the serving aggressive for Penn State too.
Has to be tough on both sides because Pitt's offense is so dynamic.
Look at the 2 libero system for Pitt. Kennedy Martin goes right down the line to punish that right on cue. Mallory Meyer gets burned.
And these are plays that Pitt has to at least try to get a touch on the block from. Dagmar Mauritz needs to get up, potentially, can't say take the line away because then she's going to rip it cross, but get in a good position to at least get a touch.
Now back to serve. Martin has a cannon of a serve too, but Babcock is there to back up Pitt. She goes wide with it on a one-on-one block situation, by the way. There's a break for Penn State.
And kind of a misplay for Olivia Babcock. Normally she'll rip these balls cross court. That's her power shot. It's kind of a missed opportunity on a set that's drifting out.
Too small of a target there. Line was covered by the Penn State block. A nick off the net. Pitt digs it out. Babcock gets one through, but Penn State gets a touch on it. It's Kennedy Martin out of the back row. She's covered out by Jordan Hopp. Selnick tries to go through the block. Pitt digs it out. Very scrappy defensive team. Babcock stays down, throws it over with 2. Lyon sets it to the pin. 1 on almost none situation for Emmy Selman.
Amazing decision for Addie Lyon to set this ball.
And recent success as well.
And for Penn State, they're coming off of their 8th national title last season. And Katie Schumacher-Collier said, yes, this is a new team and group, but that expectation stays the same of wanting to win championships. For Pitt, also, Dan Fisher has talked about until they win a championship, they're the underdog despite going to 4 straight Final Fours.
Love that sentiment on both sides. How about that set from Mosier, though, a moment ago to Bree Kelly, showing off her athleticism.
And that'll send Brooke Mosier to the front court, and watch for her to swing on too. She's very crafty up front, making sure to establish herself as a threat.
Olivia Babcock at the service line. Always a threat, but throws that one into the net. Penn State back on top by 1.
Olivia Babcock has a green light to just rip serve.
Yes, she does.
They're okay with any errors that they see because of how many points that she scores.
To your point earlier, lots of Service errors across the board on both sides. 5 for Pitt, 2 for Penn State so far. Handled that one. Bree Kelly off of 1 foot, throws it to the middle, misconnected on it. Penn State couldn't sort it out.
Even though that wasn't the best set to Bree Kelly, she's able to adjust to it, and that's what some of the best attackers do. That ball doesn't have to be in a perfect window. It just needs to be in a window to hit it.
Bree Kelly on the AVCA National Player of the Year watch list. She's been around the game a long time. Redshirt senior, determined to win it all with this Pittsburgh team. In some trouble here, though, against Penn State. Sophia Gregoire back to serve for Pitt, and count it. Like the change up here for Dan Fisher.
And Pitt continuing to bring a lot of service pressure from the end line. Penn State's been a little bit streaky in their serve receive, especially in these rotations where they only have 2 passers back there.
Gregoire transferred to Pitt after 2 seasons at Oregon. Another tough serve to fend off for Penn State. That one's wide too. A couple of unforced here, but great service pressure at the line from Gregoire.
Amazing service pressure, and Jillian Grimes handles it, but doesn't quite get it high enough to run an in-tempo offense.
And it will force a timeout called the other way for Penn State, now trailing by 2 to Pitt. Stay with us here at State College. Back to the action here in State College. Penn State in a 2-point hole. Lion to the pin. Juravicius rips it down the line. Crucial moment for Penn State.
Big side out for Penn State, especially late in the set. They need to play toe-to-toe with Pitt and then be really clean in the red zone from the last 5 points. But a really nice take from Jillian Grimes. They're able to run a little bit out of system, but a beautiful swing from Juravicius.
Juravicius, fearless competitor. Father played football. Penn State also in the NFL. Mauritz almost gets jammed, but anyways, oh my, a one-on-one situation. Mendelson gets the stuff block.
It is so difficult to get a one-on-one stuff on a back row attack because that attacker has so many angles that they can hit. Maggie Mendelson made sure that she was just following the line of approach of the attacker, and that ball goes straight down.
Another look at the pressing block from Maggie Mendelson. Big serve for Penn State, another dime of the pass for Mauritz. Ooh, Olivia Babcock back to work. She was offended by that block a moment ago.
Yeah, she put a little extra something into that back row swing, just slicing it right on the end line. From this angle, you can see she does a much better job seeing the angle that the blocker's taking than just going straight around it.
Tautua'a back to serve for Pitt. 25, Olivia Babcock continuing her campaign. AVCA National Player of the Year that she won last year. Out to the pin, Juravicius goes into the heavy double block for Pitt. That's been dangerous for Penn State all night long.
Blair Bayless has done a really nice job tonight putting her body in positions that gets her hands in nice spots to shut down attackers. Beautiful out-of-system play. Blockers working so well together on that one.
That one might have been out for Penn State. Addie Lyon goes back to Juravicius, gets the touch and the kill. Back within 1.
Really smart swing from Juravicius on this ball. She knows it's out of system. She has a big block in front of her. Doesn't do too much with it with power. Takes a little bit off and goes right off the fingertips.
Close one there. Overpass. Penn State takes care of business. Juravicius with the close. Addie Lyon should get the assist from the service line.
And yeah, that all starts from the service line and a miscommunication on the serve receive about whether that ball was in or out, but Dupes makes a last-second decision and plays this, forcing the overpass.
Lyon goes back to Dupes. Frazier throws up. Set, and it's a scramble again, kind of a misconnection there on the slide, and Pitt gets away with it.
Yeah, none of the slide attacks have looked consistent for Pitt so far, and that's been one of their staples over the last few years. But you have a new setter coming in. It's still early in the season, although Pitt's played 9 matches, so look for that to get better as this match goes on.
Mosier back to the line. Pitt needs 4 to close out set number 1. Heavy serve, it's an overpass. Look out. Joust 1 on cue. Blair Bayless, the junior.
That starts from an awesome topspin serve from Brooke Mosier. This is exactly who Pitt wants on the end line right now in this kind of moment. She's got a heavy topspin ball.
she does. Brooke Mosier played 4 years at Illinois, came into the season with over 2,000 assists, over 700 digs, and 400 kills. Another look at this great serve, Emily, and actually Kennedy Martin played with Brooke Mosier at FC Elite in Wisconsin during their club era, sophomores in high school. She was a senior, she being Brooke Mosier, but that is a cannon at the service line. That's the reason Pitt wants her to start at the line.
What makes this serve really difficult is that Mosier's able to move it around. In this rotation, Penn State has Caroline Jurevicius passing, who is by far the worst passer for the Nittany Lions. She's moved over from the opposite this past season.
See that?
Not often.
3 seams to pick from here for Mosier. She goes to Grimes, nails the pass. Jurevicius needed a kill, and she gets one.
A lot of times when you just give a different look in serve receive, it forces that server to think about just a little bit more, and all of a sudden that's an easy ball right on Grimes' lap for them to turn.
Love that coaching decision from Katie Schumacher-Cauley, one of the veterans of the game. Jurevicius going fearlessly with a big block ahead. That's her 5th kill of the evening. Faldudo picking apart Dukes, who nails the pass. Stuff block from Maggie Mendelson on Babcock.
Maggie Mendelson is taking complete control of the middle of the court. Anything that Pitt is running in there, she's been all over. Amazing tracking of where the hitters are going and what rotation, seeing Babcock come in on a 2-ball in the middle.
She has been playing great. Mendelson on both sides of the ball. Jammed up is Nittany Martin. Jams at the Penn State block. 1-point lead to Penn State. What a moment here for the Nittany Lions. Timeout.
As this set gets later and later, expect both sides to go to their stars. Right now, Olivia Babcock in the negatives. Kennedy Martin, 5 kills.
11 total attempts for Kennedy Martin, only 9 for Babcock. To the middle goes Pitt. What a set, what a decision. What did you like about that specifically?
Specifically, I love the pass on that ball. It was completely calm. Really good timeout taken by Dan Fisher just to calm the momentum on Penn State's side. I love that decision to go to the middle because it's one-on-one.
Nyla Jones adds her 4th kill of the match, hitting over 600. Now that might stall out the Penn State block. Keep an eye on that. We've got Marina Pizzell checking into the lineup for Pitt. Another server thrown into the mix at the last second. Dan Fisher makes some last-minute decisions and follows his gut.
Coming in as a serving sub, doing exactly what you're supposed to do, forcing that overpass, and your front row can take full control of it.
And Pizzell did spend some time in the L2 position for Pitt as well. Martin gets stuffed, and Pitt runs away with set number 1, and maybe sneaking away is the proper way to say that one. What a fight.
Really good push from Penn State toward the end of that set, but at the end of the day,